There's a few ways that we try and help our clients identify product market fit, whether they be a startup, a small business, an enterprise client, doesn't really matter. Anytime we start working with a new business, the first thing we'll do is have a conversation around three main elements. We want to have a deep understanding of their corporate objectives, their timeline, and their budget. And then that way we can work backwards and make recommendations around what marketing activities we would recommend in order for them to achieve those objectives within that time frame and under budget. We use that as a base. And then one other thing that is really important to us is having a rock solid feedback loop. We try as much as possible to position ourselves as an external marketing department that our clients can just tap onto and scale up or scale down with as needed. Having clear and consistent communication is extremely important to facilitate that. What we'll do is we'll usually set up recurring meetings with our clients depending on their availability and their preference as well, and how often they want to be having these conversations. We're also usually, if they use the same tools as us, like Slack, for example, we'll set up a Slack channel so that we can have ongoing and clear communication as needed. And the third thing that is really important to us is having an iterative strategy, being able to take findings from current marketing activities and use any metrics or insights that we're gathering to then optimize and improve activities moving forward. One other thing, just as a side note, that we've done is all of our services are offered on a month-to-month basis. There's no contracts or minimum commitments, and we've done that very consciously so that we can help startups pivot quickly and easily. We know, of course, that startups in particular have limited budgets, they've got limited resources. We want to make it as easy for them as possible to experiment and find what's going to work for them and ultimately to find their product market fit. One solution that we've implemented pretty recently, but we're having really excellent outcomes from, is we've developed a comprehensive content strategy report that we're delivering to clients. We offer it as a value add. We don't charge anything for it. Essentially what it does is it helps us analyze the client's business, their target audience, their user personas, the challenges that those personas are experiencing, and how the client's services or products help solve those challenges. And then we go a step further and say, okay, now that we have a deep understanding of who the client is and their audiences, what are those audiences' content preferences? Which social media platforms are they consuming content on? And in what formats do they prefer to consume content? For example, depending on the persona and the challenges that they're experiencing, whether they might spend more time on LinkedIn or Twitter versus TikTok and Instagram Reels, and whether they like to consume blogs and thought leadership, or whether they like short form video. And then that way we can make really validated recommendations to our clients on what types of content they should be producing so that it is well received by their target audience. And so that forms the basis of a needs assessment for our clients. By undertaking or by providing these reports, we're able to communicate to the client that we understand who they are, what they're looking to achieve. It also helps the client feel a lot more confident that we understand them. It helps them trust us on a deeper level. And then once it's confirmed that within that report is correct, or we've made any required adjustments, we can then use that to help identify exactly what services would suit that particular client to ensure that it's going to be well received by their audience. Another thing that we'll do is, if there are clearly defined competitors for a particular client, and that might be another brand that they want to either emulate or completely avoid pitfalls from, or replicate some of their marketing activities, we can include those competitors in the content strategy report in order to identify gaps and opportunities. We can, of course, make recommendations to the client as to who we might want to include in the competitor analysis, or we're more than happy to take on board any recommendations as to different brands or competitors that they want us to incorporate.